Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And guys, today we have a very important and very special update on everything that's going on in crypto right now. Everything that you need to know about all the most breaking crypto news. So stick around and enjoy the show. And having said that, guys, I am changing my channel up a little bit. I am right now just focusing on exactly what I like to cover, all the different videos I like to make, instead of trying to go for what works the best. So if at some point you're noticing on my channel a video has very little views or doesn't do so well, I'm just covering whatever I think you guys might benefit from the most and I like making. So please understand that. I'm not going to go for the most hyped up stuff potentially, just going to go for everything that I think is important for your portfolio or your knowledge, I guess, for the crypto space. And also, from some point I'm thinking I should stop saying press the like button, because I don't really care at the end of the day, but it might make the videos perform a little bit better. That's why I'm saying that, but I might stop with that soon as well, because a lot of you guys said it's annoying. Let's look at the news. First of all, large-scale Bitcoin whale transactions signal a bottom, on-chain data shows. These types of articles are really fake, mostly from the perspective that we can look at the data and extrapolate almost nothing. What I mean with that is a top, bottom. It doesn't really matter because the price action doesn't necessarily follow this trend or this pattern in any way, shape, or form. Here it says whale transactions exceeding both $100,000 and $1 million have peaked at their highest level in a month. Bitcoin whale transactions were last this high on January 24th, right when the price bottomed. So, in my own opinion, this is really not important whatsoever. These guys are giving you false information, and I'm not exactly sure why they're doing that, because take a look at this, right? They're biased. So here, there was a big bottom, and there was a huge spike in whale transactions. Here, there was, I would say, a local high, and there was also a huge spike in whale transactions. You might say, well, these are the biggest turnaround points. Oh, but then look at the bottoms here. There's, I guess, very big bottoms here, and they don't really necessarily show anything for the course of the price. And again, right here, again, we can see a local high did not necessarily reflect anything in terms of bottom or anything. So point being, you can't really use this data and fetch something from it. This is just false conclusion that they're trying to draw. And that's actually a really interesting thing about statistics as a whole. I've told you guys this before, I've told you guys a couple of times. You can actually make a lot of conclusions if you just word it well enough. Or you can use a lot of different statistics for different purposes that are not what they were meant to be for. And I actually talk about this when I talk about fractals as well. Fractals, very often they look so amazing, right? A lot of it is based around the story that you make around it and how far you want to pull it. Because a fractal only works until it doesn't work, but you never know how long it's going to last. So if you're betting with the fractal, basically, you might be right a little bit, but generally speaking, you'll be wrong. And let's say you find a fractal that works for a little while. Very often, you only know there was a solid one until it's happened. So you don't usually trade the fractal, work with the fractal. The only thing I would say that might have some solidity to it is the stock to flow model, which again is not completely true because it's been changed a dozen times, and we all know the little regression line that they pull, it's been changed because again you need to narrow it down better, and it will fail pretty often. It will just hopefully do better more than not. But the only thing I'm going to agree with his models and whatnot is the fact that Bitcoin basically works in cycles, and the halving basically of Bitcoin has a lot to do with that cycle. I'm going to still say I do believe in that, even though I'm a little bit biased because, of course, I am bullish on this technology. And so I do believe that anytime we go down, generally speaking, there's going to be, within a little bit of time, a very big peak yet again. Just my thoughts, though, guys. I'm giving you all the straight facts. No BS in this channel. Then, apparently, Russian billionaires have lost nearly $40 billion on the first day of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This is a very big deal, as you guys can probably already imagine. It's been really crazy, though, because what I'm covering on Twitter right now, you guys should definitely follow me over on Twitter, at TheDustTBC. The volume in Ukraine for crypto right now is going insane. Yet, when we look at it, a couple of days ago, Ukraine was being all of a sudden really bullish towards crypto, then another day really bearish on it. It's really been confusing because Russia's also been so progressive, and it really starts to kind of click in my head thinking, wow, one, these countries most likely did that because they knew what was coming. That's what I kind of feel, right? You're going to all of a sudden be very open towards crypto because you know you're going to need it with all the sanctions and all the trouble, basically. That sounds like one. A lot of others want to donate, of course, and a lot of them are using crypto. So that's all with like part number one. Two, you can really start to see the necessity of cryptos in times like this, where it's like, well, you want to send some money around the world, but nobody might have a bank account to kind of do it with. Give them a computer for about 5 minutes, let them make a wallet, or use their phone. Let somebody make the wallet, boom, they got some money from you. How can they spend it? Sometimes it might be a little bit more difficult, but you guys get the idea. And actually, this is something that's also very interesting. With a lot of the cards, right, with a lot of the crypto cards, you can actually verify your account within a couple of minutes and get the card, like a physical card, nearly instantly. Sorry, not a physical card, a digital card nearly instantly, which is actually something a lot of people don't know about, but that's actually a possibility too. Now, moving on. BitConnect mastermind indicted in the US on charges of running a Ponzi scheme. Good. The mastermind behind a new BitConnect Ponzi scheme was indicted in the US on February 25th, 2022. The Ponzi scheme robbed investors of $2.4 billion. BitConnect has been notorious for scams since 2018. And I don't know the full story because I don't really care too much about the details of it. I know that if I make a video specifically on this, about this indictment, it might do well. It really might be so. And again, a lot of people might like it. But those are a lot of people that are in crypto for a long time and it's older stuff. I don't think there's any really much to gain from this except for saying don't scam people. Maybe that's the most important thing I kind of fetch from this one. Or that it's gonna kind of go circle full around, if you know what I mean. So if you're doing something bad in crypto right now, you might get away with it. But eventually they might catch on to you. Even though you might be thinking, oh, I just stole that money. Oh, good, nobody's gonna find. Maybe eventually they will. So I would always suggest be the best actor that you can. And if you don't want to, again, which I highly recommend against, be the best actor that you can. That's what I fully stand by. Then really make sure nobody can trace your steps because 9 out of the 10 times they can. So if you think you're safe, most likely you're not. And you shouldn't think only about technology from now, but think about technology from 15 years in the future when, again, a lot of people still get caught, a decade later or so. In some countries, I think the evidence or so fades and the case gets thrown out or so. But a lot of these criminals and guys, look at the Bitfinex thing, right? The big, a lot of these bigger hacks that get found out maybe 7 years later or so, and that's still something which can happen. So I don't really assume anybody watching this is looking to, mastermind a new big scam, but still be very cautious with that. And also, if you always think your money is gone, sometimes it actually comes back around eventually. But yeah, that's not really, I don't think, good news to cover. It's just a little warning for people that are trying to scam your government or something like that. Be careful with that stuff, guys. Be careful. All right, 400 million XP shifted with Ripple's participation. Every single time I cover this, people keep asking me if this is good or bad. And my answer to every single one of those is it depends. Why? If a exchange moves it to an unknown wallet, generally speaking, that's bullish because that's money taken off exchanges, less selling pressure. Vice versa is bearish, meaning a unknown wallet to an exchange. Exchange to exchange is neutral, and Ripple moving it, we don't know. Ripple could be moving it for liquidity purposes. They could also be doing it because they want to sell. So it's a 50-50, and that's why I'm saying you can't really fetch anything from that, as it's really unknown exactly why they would send it somewhere. In theory, it could also be to fund another party somewhere else, but it could also be for liquidity purpose, literally. It could also be for any other thing that we can think about, so it's hard to say. All right, Russia. The ECB president calls for crypto regulation to prevent sanction evasion, which is actually a really big argument and a really big point. I would say this shows the seriousness of crypto and the quote-unquote freedom that comes with cryptocurrency. Again, guys, these videos are not financial advice or legal advice in any way, shape, or form. However, I do think we can all come to a conclusion here that even though we don't know what the price will do necessarily, I think we all understand the underlying threat to a financial system from Bitcoin or from cryptocurrencies as a whole. I've said before why I think XRP, again, this is just me talking, is one of the best ones to go for right now. But if we're just saying simple, Bitcoin already is good enough, I guess, to replace the system. XRP is still better, but okay. And from that perspective, yeah, them calling out that crypto need to be regulated to prevent sanctions is a very big deal. Because if they're kind of afraid that Russia is going to go full on crypto, I don't know. I'm kind of sorry, guys. I'm gonna be somewhere in the background thinking, nice. Even though the majority of things, right? I'm always I'm gonna say apolitical on this channel. I usually don't pick a side in any way, shape, or form. I don't really want to. I don't really see the benefit in that. What I do, I guess, I'm an advocate for is people as a whole, but also, I guess, the evaluation or the growth of cryptocurrencies, purely because I believe in it fully. I've literally given myself up to the crypto, the crypto. I don't want to say a couple of words here on this channel either. I don't want to say too much. Just say to crypto. I've fully given myself over to it. Meaning, or what I kind of say with that, is if Russia all of a sudden were to go completely digital asset to evade sanctions, I'm kind of going to be in the background thinking, yeah, that's kind of what it was meant for. The fact that nobody can ever stop you, which is, again, good and bad. But for crypto adoption, that's a really good thing. For crypto regulation, might short-term be bad, but I think it will fix itself eventually. As we're starting to notice, money flows cannot be stopped anymore. Right now they can because it's just small little parties. Eventually, no. And that's a good thing, in my opinion. Again, if it's being used for good. Then a couple of memes. Here's actually just one of them. I just posted on Twitter a little bit. So this is something which I think a lot of you guys have witnessed. I have witnessed it a couple of different times. So you're just thinking, you know what? I'm going to buy myself some juicy little altcoins, some juicy crypto. Good, good. And then the entire crypto market, just after you just bought yourself some crypto, it just all of a sudden goes full poo-poo mode, you know? I think we've all had this before. Full-on poo-poo mode on top of your face. Literally like that. You know, you're sitting there chilling thinking, oh, I just bought myself a nice little crypto dip. Bam! Yeah, that's dookie in your face. Nobody likes that. But it's happened to me a dozen of times before, and I think a lot of you guys kind of relate to that. I think it was kind of funny. Also, just follow me over on Twitter if you're not doing that just quite yet. A little piece of news that Anonymous is going after him, but I don't think that's really crypto-like, so we don't need to cover that. And then I have a full freaking list of theories about the freaking Ripple versus SEC stuff. But I think we'll keep that for a different video a little bit later today. I want to keep this to the more important political, even though I'm kind of apolitical here, the more political news that relates to crypto. And I guess one thing, commissioners from the SEC even are saying, why isn't a Bitcoin spot ETF been applied yet or basically approved yet? I keep saying, the only reason I can think of that they're denying it is for safety, because that's what they say. But why safety? Why then a Bitcoin future ETF? Well, they say futures are more regulated. Makes no sense. With a spot ETF, I would always argue and always say, you have the control. Because every single point, money laundering, criminal activity, theft, just not irregularity, but like immaturity in markets, anything along those lines, you can always fix by making it more popular and making better rules. If they get the Bitcoin spot ETF in, there will be such a huge amount of institutional investment additionally. And again, they have more control over it because now it really falls under the SEC's control, that they can really prevent a lot of that. And really, percentage-wise, the criminal stuff with crypto is actually not that high. Meaning, they're thinking of reasons to deny it, which nobody really understands. And even people within the SEC, which again keeps denying it, don't fully grasp or understand why it's being denied. I sometimes wonder, is the SEC like in a little trip, you know, they all come together, sit around like a little campfire and say, you know what, what are we going to do today? And one is like, I dare you to deny it again. And they're like, no, we can't do that. We've already denied it 14 times. Like, I dare you to do it again. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, you know what, I'm going to do it. Or are they really serious in a room thinking, no, it's not safe? Because any logical thinking human being could deduce a different conclusion, right? Saying, well, but you're trying to make it safe by allowing this. Like, what? And as I said before as well, I don't think in a lot of ways, shapes, or forms they're really doing their best to protect the U.S. investors with the way they're doing their business right now. But that's me being biased as well, because, of course, I'm really heavily involved in the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit. I cover that every single time when it comes out. And so I'm biased to say, yeah, they haven't really been doing their job properly, because at the end of the day, that would be better for Ripple. So I don't want to quote too much about that. I just think it's really amazing that it hasn't come through in a negative way. All right, that was it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. If you don't want to, don't do it. Adios, amigos. See you later.